can't let any young adult fall through the cracks. You have a cure for cancer, you're gonna tell all your friends about it. The same way as you have this love for Jesus, you're gonna tell everybody about it.
God created us to be social creatures, to be in relationship. Our goal is to be able to provide that.
This is not a one-size-fits-all approach, and if God's calling you to lead young adult ministry, we understand that there are lots of different ways to approach it. We just want to share some of the things that we've learned through our ups and downs on our journey. Our journey at the Life Experiment started where any journey with God needs to start, and that's through intentional prayer, because we want to be involved with His plans. We don't want to ask Him to be involved in our plans.
We just started throwing questions around. What if a group of people decided to question God? What if a group of people decided to ask God, what purpose do we have in this life?
I knew there had to be something more that I could do, that we could do to sort of get people to, young adults especially, to commit to sticking together and just growing together in a natural walk. I was fortunate enough to meet up with some other friends at the church who shared that vision.
And we said, Lord, you know what? We have all had different journeys. We have been raised in the church, and we went out, and now we're back, and there's nothing for us here to do. So what can we do? We're willing, we're able, put us to work.
And something clicked in our minds that this is what we need. We need a sense of security and a community.
We decided that one of the best ways to start off was to have weekly meetings. We decided to have a Bible study that everyone could come to. We began our Bible studies with dinner.
If you're coming from work or you're coming from school, you know that you can come, get some physical food, and also get some spiritual food to help you throughout the rest of the week.
And there were days when it would really be like 2 or 3 people there. There were days when you get discouraged, and we had a lot of those days. We still do, in fact, but it's something that you just can't let those days get you down. You have to be willing to stick with it, to be consistent, to really see this thing through.
After we'd been just having some really great meetings for about a year and a half, really great Bible studies, we started to realize that a lot of people that we would invite to be a part of this were not comfortable coming to a Bible study. They weren't comfortable coming to church.
We wanted to expand this to have a social aspect. We would get together to play soccer games, to play kickball, to have a game night.
At the start, there was 10 or 12 of us from church. As time went on, there was a couple other people coming along for pickup games, and pretty soon at the end of the soccer game, there was like 20-something people out there playing soccer. From that experience, we realized, hey, we need to start doing more to not just reach ourselves in the church and fulfilling our social and spiritual needs, but there's also people in the community that we can help also.
We wanted to walk out the life that Jesus walked, which was to serve others. So we added a service component.
We volunteer at different organizations around town to really step up and help them touch people.
The combination of the spiritual element, the social component, as well as the serving our world component, that three-dimensional approach really gave us the ability to connect with a lot of people that we wouldn't have been able to connect with otherwise.
At one point, we said, you know what, we need to get organized.
We developed a core team of individuals who would take on this task, and it was difficult to get young adults to commit to taking on this responsibility, but that was a challenge that, thanks to willing young adults, we were able to overcome.
After being organized and forming a community, the next step was to spread the word.
Social media is a really good tool to keep people engaged. It's a really good tool to connect with people because, let's face it, everyone these days is on Facebook or Twitter or just whatever your social media preference is.
all the programs, the events that you're going to be planning, they're all great, but the one thing that you have to remember, your highest priority has got to be to pursue a very personal relationship with all of the young adults that God brings into your circle.
Realizing that if God sends a young adult to your church, it's your job, it's my job, to make an effort to get to know them. You have to be there at the door almost, looking for them. Be the first person to make that contact.
You don't want to let any young adult slip through the cracks like I feel like I did for 15 years.
You partied hard and you woke up the next morning and you went to work and then you partied again. And that was my life. But there was something missing, and that was the service for God, the ministry that we're here to be God's hands and feet.
We decided to claim the promises that God has given us in the Bible, that He will give power to the work, that He'll supply the life-changing power, that's not up to us.
Our motto in the Life Experiment, which is living in faith, that's what we do on a daily basis. We live in faith. He is here and He has come to give us an abundant life in John 10:10. Let's live that abundant life. Let's be spokespeople for God and let young adults see that this is not just a monotonous activity.
It's amazing and humbling to be on this journey where we are now and to see how God has used us to just play a small role in the work that He's doing in the young adult community here in Arizona.